So good morning, friends. Welcome, welcome. If you're all well, wherever you are, this beautiful autumnal morning, at least where I am, calling in from Northern California, wondering how it is for you. Just tell us where you're calling in from, what you're seeing, what's in your hearts this morning, what's in many of our hearts is the upcoming election, as it has been in our hearts and minds, at least those of us in America, for a long time. So I have a poem, a couple of readings for you this morning, one from Mary Oliver called I Worried. She writes, I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers flow in the right direction? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows can do it, and I am, well, hopeless. Is my eyesight fading, or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism, lockjaw, dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing, and gave it up, took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing, and gave it up, took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. I don't know if you're going to take your body out into the morning and sing, but appreciate her wise words around worrying. We've all been doing a lot of worrying at times with this election cycle, with this administration, with the many things that, of course, are worthy of concern: climate crisis, ecological crisis, etc., etc. And it's also important that we hold that with some wisdom, some discernment, some awareness, some clarity, noticing what our mind is doing with whatever it is that we're living through, how our mind is not necessarily helping by the unhealthy habits and tendencies of mind. So we bring those into awareness with kindness, with compassion, but also wisdom. Just asking ourselves, how are we meeting this? How are we holding the uncertainty, the unknown? There's a lot resting on this election. There's a lot of suffering and possibility resting on what happens. So it's natural that our mind is turning to that, concerned about that. And at the same time, can we turn to that in a way that's fruitful and constructive rather than reactive and just tying ourselves into panic? And so as we've been doing these months, we come outdoors to take refuge in nature. I was reading a poem. This is a section from Odyssey Online, poems for political crisis. This is from Langston Hughes, Walkers with the Dawn. Being walkers with the dawn and morning, walkers with the sun and morning, we are not afraid of night, nor days of gloom, nor darkness, being walkers with the sun and the morning. So as we sit together with our morning practice, someone's saying it's hard to hear. Let me just check my phone settings. That would be why. Sorry about that. My microphone wasn't set right. So I'll just read that poem again. It's from Langston Hughes, Walkers with the Dawn, which we are. Being walkers with the dawn and morning, walkers with the sun and morning, we are not afraid of night, nor days of gloom, nor darkness. Being walkers with the sun and morning. So friends, let us sit together and sit in the refuge of nature and the refuge of awareness, the refuge of Sangha, the refuge of tuning to the truth of what is, with awareness, with clarity, with kindness, with sati sampajanya, with clear comprehension. So taking your seat wherever you are, whatever you're sitting in, outwardly or internally, the practice is learning to sit in the fire of experience. Noticing as you take your seat this morning, the greater light around us since the clocks have gone back. Feeling the preciousness of this morning, the preciousness of this day. Tuning to the more than human world, the seasons, cycles of the sun and moon, tides and winds. And turning our attention outwards to feel into the life all around us, the trees, bird song, the birds in the canopy, the wind, the air element, the warmth of the fire element, and the coolness of morning. To the life that doesn't carry the cares and worries that humans do. More naturally at ease, at rest, spacious. And one of the things nature can do is lift us out of our human preoccupations into something vaster, more timeless, so we can hold the particular of our experience with more groundedness, more spaciousness. So feeling the groundedness, rootedness of your seat, your legs, feet, sit bones, nestled into the earth. Feeling your body held by the earth. Feeling some of those steadier, familiar rhythms, rhythms of breath, tides of air, inhale, exhale. Keep us rooted and grounded, and connected to all breathing life, all photosynthesizing life, forests and trees and grasses. Knowing that there's innumerable life forms supporting us, supporting each other to live, to thrive. So grounding awareness in the earth-like quality of the body, rooted, connected, rooting attention in the wave-like quality of breath, singing us into the present. And sensing into the space all around you, the spaciousness of awareness that holds experience in the way that space holds all things. Stay grounded in the body, attuned to the senses. Allowing whatever grace of morning to support us, abiding here, sounds, the light, the sun, breeze, fragrance. Noticing when the mind lifts us out of the present into thought, into the imagined future, into worry and plans. And the stress that comes from that. Into the living, breathing, sensory present. knowing and noticing when we're abiding in awareness, and presence, qualities that arise from that: clarity, ease, connection, intimacy, and at times love. And this way we practice together. Where is your attention in this moment? In these last minutes of the practice, making the intention to fully be here, connected, intimate with experience, curious, noticing the movement of life, of experience, of breath, of sound, of sensation, heart and mind. And committing to releasing the habits of mental wandering, distraction. To fully abiding here. This moment to moment changing landscape, inner and outer life. As we bring our practice to a close, sensing your heart and bringing forth your intention for your practice today. quality, what aspiration, what intention do you want to allow inform your day? What allows you to stay steady amidst this changing, swirling world? And I'll close with a quote. In the face of a future that cannot be imagined, the only option we have is to stop living in realities that haven't formed yet and learn how to soften into the inescapable arms of uncertainty. In the face of a future that cannot be imagined, the only option we have is to stop living in realities that haven't formed yet and learn how to soften into the inescapable arms of uncertainty. At least that's our inner process. The outer process can be being very involved and engaged and active, including voting and supporting that process. So friends, nice to sit with you as we transition from sitting to post-sitting and open our eyes to this beautiful day. It's a very beautiful, warm, unusually warm autumnal day here in Northern California. So wish you a beautiful day. A couple of announcements. I do have a new course coming up this week for those who would like to dive into some foundations of mindfulness that the Buddha taught. I'm sharing that class this week. It's a 6-week course in mindfulness. And yeah, I know that these teachings are offered on Dana. And so if you feel moved, please offer support at my website, markom.org, the donate button there. Friends, be well, take care, much love, hang in there. Take refuge in the earth. I will unmute us so you can say any words you like. Okay, you can now unmute yourselves.